How you doing? Is it a beautiful day for you? Is it a yellow day? I'm wearing yellow. How are you? How's everybody? Sit or stand, go work out, because we're going to share some time. And I also want to know how you're doing. That's great. So, or I'm sorry if you didn't say great. Things get better, always get better, right? Stressors in life are just, I believe, just a way for you to recognize the stress and how to cope with it, right? So, anyways, how's everybody doing? I hope that in the time that we're together, we can really learn from each other. You know, because sometimes you guys will relay stuff to me, and vice versa, right? I like to come on here and tell stories. If you haven't checked out any of my SCAR stories, go check those out. 1 through 6 or something, 1 through 5. I don't remember. It's there though. But you know, the reason I came back today, surprise, surprise, this is another correction episode, right? I feel like I don't feel like I need to apologize for how I am and how I feel towards certain things. But when I do probably say things too little or too much, maybe I might get embarrassed, right? But the point of being on here is to share things so that you can be motivated through your day, so that you know that there's prosperity waiting for you, even if you're in a negative tunnel, right? And so remember that music is powerful. You're listening to Ganesha Obsidian from 999 Ancestors. Just remember, guys, there's people out here literally wanting to help you. We're helpers, and we're never not going to help on earth, right? Our priority is to help, right? We might not be helping at every single sacred moment, right? But I do believe that in that help, you know, you bring forth your purpose, you bring forth maybe your passion, right? So anyways, guys, today I wanted to make it about corrections. And you're like, how many corrections does this woman have? Well, take it if you got it. Give it up to the Adonai. Give it up to the Most High. Give it up to your ancestors. Let the prayers be heard on their level. Let them know that they are descendants who remember and respect their presence. It's just a little bit of Sacramento and medicinal talk. You know, once upon a time, before the gaslighting, before the, I want to call it almost what it was, propaganda against weed, right? Because if you check out other century, like in the 1900s, the early 1900s, you have, this isn't part of the correction, but in the early 1900s, you have, you know, a bunch of people. Oh man, am I losing my train of thought? Oh yeah. So, okay. So, we're talking about the early 1900s. What is the point? What is the point? What is the point? I don't know. I think I lost my train of thought. And I apologize. The correction thing, you know. I think probably I'm just supposed to be talking about the correction thing. And I think every time that I forget things while I'm talking to you guys, have patience, right? Because I also have my own set of mental health issues and everything like that. Nobody is perfect, guys. Nobody is perfect, and I don't know anyone who's trying to be. And if you're pretending that you are, you might have a lot more issues than I do. Gosh, now I would really want to remember about the early 1900s. Well, let's see what was going on there. A lot of stuff. I really don't remember why. Oh yes, in the early 1900s, they were doing propaganda against weed, against marijuana, against the herb, this sacrament that we have had as humans, this incense that we have had as humans, this medicine that we have had as humans for centuries and centuries, even before the propaganda began. So if you see the Reefer Madness, you literally have interpretations of marijuana, weed, cannabis doing the worst possible thing that it could do to you, and that was false, and it was propaganda. So now what happened there is that you got a lot of us to go to the other side. So now we medicate with alcohol and we medicate with all the other drugs, because oh, there's a propaganda against weed. No, weed is like, it's said to be brought by aliens. And what life on Earth is an alien? Because they even say that human life began as microscopic cell organisms on a comet, and then boom, fell on the Earth, and then boom, here we are, human beings. As far as everything else, right? I think they talk about bacterias and microbes literally starting foundations of life on similar planets like we have here, right, on Earth. That something is very conducive to life. So, is my hair crazy, guys? So what, guys? It's the time to not judge, right? Oneself. I mean, I did enough. I'm here. So one of the things I wanted to correct is that I felt like I was bashing men almost in my last episode, but that's the reality of how women feel. And I think most general, that's how we feel. I can only speak for myself as one woman, having had her experiences with the opposite sex. And I don't just mean relationship sexualness, and I just mean being in the presence of a man, having a relationship as in they're my brothers or they're my cousins and my nephews and stuff like that. Last time I was like, I only trust my brothers and my and the gay guy friends that I have, which is completely honest and true. But then after I stopped the episode, I started, I don't know why I didn't like pop up in my head to say my nephews and my cousins. And I really do hope that all of the men that I love on this earth get to procreate as much as they want, because or as much as they needed to, right? Because sometimes you're tapped out on kids, right? You have 10 kids and you're like done, which is fine. But what I'm saying is that I stand corrected in saying that I trust more men than just my brothers and gay guys, because there's actually men in my life that have become like brothers because I trust them so much. And they're not necessarily gay, right? They're straight as an arrow. So those two are different categories, and they deserve to be said, thank you for being a gentleman in my life. You deserve to hear that. I'm grateful. If you're a man in my life, I'm grateful that you are a gentleman. Likewise, if you're a woman, I'm glad that you're a gentle woman, right? Sometimes we need to be fierce warriors and everything like that. However, in this balancing of the masculine and the feminine, we cannot dismiss the fact that we have to be closer, not sexually, but I mean, and sometimes it will be sexual, right? There's plenty of straight women and plenty of straight men out there that are having all the babies, right? And there's a lot of gay couples too that are having babies, right? I mean, artificial insemination exists. If some bozo is trying to tell you that you can't have babies unless you go sleep with a man, I mean, it may not work for everyone, sleeping with a man. And that's why there's the industry of artificial insemination is huge. It's like $1 billion industry. I myself know when we were going through the whole, trying to conceive a baby just a very short while ago, it's heavy on the price load. It's not free. As of this year, I believe they're going to start doing some stuff on the insurance to make it cheaper or more affordable. But as a time when I had to go through it, when me and my partner had to go through it, the fees were there. We had to pay every single little penny. And I'm grateful that my partner is so fiscally responsible that she was able to, pay that debt off real fast. And I'm grateful, we did all that as a preliminary, right? Expecting a baby. But anyways, some things, sometimes they don't work out. So back to the correction at hand, right? There's going to be some sort of a balancing between females and males. And I don't mean sexually. It's going to happen on an emotional and on a spiritual level and on an intelligence level. It's going to happen in a matter of our brains and our hearts and our intuition linked with our spirituality, right? This is not the time to divide ourselves because we're two different sexes. This is the time to grasp more harmony, grasp more understanding. I'm trying to understand why women are choosing bears instead of men. Because I love men, right? And then there's some instances that I definitely choose a bear. I definitely choose a lion. I choose to go live in the wild, right? Because I probably would be better protected by animales de la selva, right? Like animals of of the forest, you know, of the wild, right? So what I know is that in bringing these situations to light, it's not, oh, men bashing. It's, yo, if you see a man do shitty things, you need to start calling it out. And if you're a person that does terrible things to women or men, there's men that hate other men out there, right? And just like there's women that hate other women, right? And we're not in that boat. We want everyone to succeed, right? If you have harboring any sort of jealousy and whatever towards another being, whatever sex they are, know that that's something that was colonized into us, right? Before the colonization that really began long time ago. I mean, we have doctrines going back to the 800s, and we have doctrines going back to the 1331, where they say it's cool to go. And I'm going to read you something specific. Now, moving on from the correction stuff, I love you guys. I love you men. I love you gentlemen. Gentle women, please keep being beautiful and go rock the planet. We need you more than ever. It wasn't just a call for men to stand up for us and everything like that. Stands up for themselves. First, show up for yourself, and then show up for others if you're a helper, right? If not, go do your purpose. Go do your purpose. Run your purpose, because we want to see your purpose in alignment with the higher galaxies. Like, this whole galaxy was made so that you can have a freaking purpose. All the stars, all the planets are aligned so that we can have a significant amount of livable atmosphere on this earth. I'm not sure if you're seeing how lucky we are to be here, whether we're male or female, intersex, hermaphrodites, right? Now we don't call hermaphrodites anymore. You call them intersex, right? There's people literally walking around with, if you've got children in the room, it's time to put on a Bluetooth. My shows, or however, my little podcast things are never meant for children, right? So just know that. And so anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to it, right? Something very important I wanted to say, because I think that the reason that we're so divided is because of religion. That's what I'm blaming it on, because like only religion is telling men that they're superior to women. Only religion is saying that we have to submit as women to men. But also, you're not even reading further in the Bible when it says that men also have to submit to their wife. I mean, if you leave all that, then you're a misogynist and you're a pig. If you only want your wife to take care of you and you don't take care of her, that's completely unfair and unbalanced, right? So let me show you whence this came from. Okay? This started deep in the past centuries, guys. Excuse me, sometimes it feels like my nose is just filling with stuff, and it's just the atmosphere and the allergies, right? So anyways, guys, this is, again, when I talk about the start of colonization, when I talk about the start of when this started, why you are so far removed from your ancestors that literally thrive in your blood, right? Why, how come we had to alienate our gods for one god in particular who was hurting, maiming, raping, and murdering, right? So to me, I say to each his own. That's what I say. However, know that this was a plan, and I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you, just help you remember here, and then I'll post this later on in the comments. But the doctrine of discovery, and we've talked about this several times before. If you follow me and everything, we've talked about this before. So the doctrine of discovery, hear me out. This was in 1452. Now, remember that almost 100 years before, in like the 1300s, we're talking history, factual, actual, documented, all this shit is facts. So in the 1300s, in the early 1300s, it was like 1331 or something like that, they also decreed, the Catholic Church and the because is like the Kathleen of Aragon or Catherine of Aragon, and then her husband is like, and it was like, you have to think about the people in power, like how we have the British, the UK, how they have a king, right? And they have this hierarchy or whatever, and it's very it's just about their family, right? Even if they have to inbreed, it's just about continuing their line, right? It reminds me a lot of what Hitler said when he was around. Continue your father's heritage and only mix with people from your father's heritage. Very racist. So let me remind you here. The doctrine of discovery is something that really gave the conquistors, basically they were criminals, given permission by the government that they had, right? Over here, guys, we weren't just in tents, walking around and looking at all the land. We had governments, we had royalty, we had pyramids up the wazoo. I mean, how many pyramids are in the Americas that are literally not in Egypt? There's more pyramids here than there is in Africa, in all of Africa, because Egypt is in Africa, right? So, guys, let's reel it in. The doctrine of discovery. In 1452, almost more than 100 years after they did their first one, talking about you must make everybody Catholic, if not kill them. Let me share exactly what the doctrine of discovery of 1452, remember 67, 80, 90, and 1492, that was 40 years later, Columbus sailed the ocean blue and landed in the Caribbean islands and saw the Taino people and also the black people that were there, that were, descendants of the Olmecs and descendants of the Africans who had traveled the world already before Christopher Columbus was even born, right? And then we go back to further history. You have Vikings that came over here, and they lived around here with all the natives of the land and people from Africa that came way before slavery times, because they're a far advanced society, just like we were here. The Incas, which is where my family comes from, right? We have a small percentage of Inca, and I'm like, hey, that's family's family is family is family, right? Whether they're 1%, 2.0%, 3, 4, 5, 25, 54%, it's all my heritage, it's my ancestry. And that's what we're talking about here. So, you fucked with the wrong ancestry. I'm still mad about it. Look at me, talking about it. Making sure that you all know and remember that the only reason that the Catholic Church is so powerful as it is today is because of these doctrines that they did back then. Listen to this. The doctrine of discovery gave them the right to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens, which are like Arabian, Muslim, Islam, and pagans whatsoever. That means whoever they are, whatever they are, you are to invade, to search out, to capture, vanquish. Vanquish is not even like put them as prisoners of war, as you did all the ancestry that was enslaved during slavery, right? So you have you've now given these I don't even want to start you masochistic, satanistic, perverted, criminal-minded people the right to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue our Saracens and pagans whatsoever. So that means my ancestry as well, the ones that was hanging out in the Americas and the South Americas, and the people that was hanging out in the North Americas, we already had our shit going on. And then this Pope and the royalty at the time told these conquistors to come over here and do it. I barely got into the first sentence. Listen to this. And so that it disrupts the matrix hypnotism that is upon you, because I see it on me. I think this is true reality. Although this is one parallel universe, too many, too many to even count. Right? So, let me finish. So, the doctrine of discovery gave them the right to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens and pagans whatsoever. What else did it say? Does the music need to be off for this? No. We're going to be aggressive. Play the music. We're going to be aggressive. They were aggressive with us and our ancestors, and I'm going to be aggressive with them. So, if there's any people still wishing for colonization of more land, get off my feed. If you're not here to support me, get off my feed. If you're just watching and hating and sending evil eye, get off my feed. You can click off. You know what I'm saying? You can click off. That's the power of life and free will. So, I'm honest. Obviously, my talks aren't made for like late night snuggles for you to fall asleep. I'm not the French whisperer, guys. I'm not the ASMR French whisperer, which I love to listen to when I'm going to sleep sometimes. So, now we know that they got all these rights: invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens and pagans whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ, wheresoever placed, and the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, and to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, and countries, dominions, and possessions and goods, and to convert them to his and their use and profit. So what is this saying? I hope you're listening to me, because this is like some serious shit. What is this literally saying? This is literally, and I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're stupid. I just think that attention span is very small in everyone. As we are, half of us are addicted to the phone, the other half is addicted to the TV. Some of us are not addicted to a thing, right? But not me, right? But anyways, I'm addicted to giving passionate like talks, guys. If you don't like the way I talk, click off. Just go somewhere else. Go somewhere like the French whisperer that whispers to you and you fall asleep. I'm not that person. I'm fiery. I am livid that we're in 2025 and these Catholic sons of bitches still have power. It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. So in order to aggravate your soul right now, I'm going to repeat this one more time. I'm going to repeat it one more time for the people that just joined. We're talking about the doctrine of discovery of 1452, which gave the people that engaged in criminal actions. Hi, love, welcome. And every time somebody comments you, do remember that they're seeing the beauty in you, because they are beautiful too. So if you see beauty in me, it's because you're beautiful, and you see the beauty. It's like reflecting. We're reflecting off each other. Do you understand? So I love compliments, because then I can compliment you right back. So this is it, guys. I was reading. I did a funny thing, and I looked up 2027 on Google. And it said that in 2027, it marks the event where Catholic Church is basically going to go down. Like, they're going to be obsolete. Like, they're done. Even Google is predicting this. According to the Malachi prophecies, it was this Irish priest named Malachi. And we're going to go back to the Doctrine of Discovery. But it was this priest, Irish priest, who in the 1100s, he did, gosh, I'm like losing my train of thought. Okay, so in the 1100s, this guy, oh gosh, I forgot my train of thought. See what happens when I comment on stuff? All right, so that's not the point, guys. The point is that, okay, so in 1100, this guy Malachi, he has like a prophecy. He has a vision of all the popes, and he writes them down in Latin. And to this day, it's like every pope that he wrote down came to fruition. It came true. So we're on the last pope or something like that he predicted to be in office, because what he said was this: after a certain point from the 1500s, it's going to start this time of events that in about 400 years, which is in 2027, the Catholic Church will no longer be in existence. First, it says this: either the world will end. The Malachi prophecy says in 2027, either the world will end, or the Catholic Church is going to go down. Now, which one do you think is more plausible? What is plausible? What's a better possibility here? I don't know, because I think that the Catholic Church has been around for a while. I mean, their earliest congregations are from the 800s, and even who knows how far back they stretch, right? But when they really started to get obnoxious with it, and no offense if you're a Catholic, dude, but this is the time to, if you're not researching who created your religion, why they created your religion, why are you still following them, and what God are they actually praying to? Right? Because some people over here came and called it this and they call it that, and I don't want to sound like a person who doesn't respect other people's gods and goddesses, right? But we're also in a civilization where they allowed this to happen. Again, we're going to repeat it for those of you who didn't hear it. The doctrine of discovery. The doctrine of discovery. You can look this up in all of your internet sites. I used Occasia. Yes, I used Google earlier to do some like sightseeing on the future, but that's just that's just what I do, right? So again, we're gonna say it one more time, and then we're gonna move on. So the doctrine of discovery of 1452. Remember, they had already did one like 100 years before this. So, and they've been doing this time and time again. That's why so many people were running from Europe, because it was religious persecution. You couldn't be anything but Catholic, Christian. Even the Christians were persecuted when they didn't want to be Catholic. It's kind of weird. So in the early Christians, the Gnostics, those people got hurt, killed, all kinds of shit, just for believing in the true Gnostic Christ consciousness understanding. Out. Get out. Sorry, I have to control my set here. So let's get to it. The Doctrine of Discovery of 1452 gave a bunch of people that came over here to the Americas from Europe the right to invade. You're wondering why they came over here and did what they did? Because the Catholic Church gave them the fucking right. They gave them the right to invade, to search out, to capture. That's why there were so many enslaved, and they were running around talking about an Atlantic slave trade. It wasn't enough to come for our goods, because let me keep going. So you are to capture these people, vanquish these people, subdue all the Saracens, which just means Arabians, Muslims, Islam, those are people, right? But Saracens, I believe, is kind of like a racist term. And I'm sorry that I'm repeating it verbatim, but that's what it says. And pagans whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ, wheresoever place. So that means if I don't agree with your Christ, which is my right as a human on this planet, because before this doctrine manifested itself all over the world, we had our own gods and goddesses. We had our own God. You want to talk about plural gods? We had them. We want to talk about mono? We had it. We were so many tribes around here, but we all had a consensus that this being called Apate or Atabe, which I am now kind of confused about, because what's the real name? Because you erased all of our past so that we wouldn't remember that we're powerful as our ancestors that created those pyramids. Why does it always have to be an alien? It can't be my ancestor? It's really not my ancestor? Come on, man. We didn't just crawl out of the mud in the 1400s. We were here for a long ass time. And even if European Americans think they have some sort of validity in being the ones and only the ones that are allowed to be in the United States, it's like, you're wrong, dude. This was the melting pot to begin with. But this is why we are so in the patriarchy, why racism still exists, why people still think that human trafficking is okay. Again, and other enemies of Christ, wheresoever placed, and the kingdoms, because listen to this shit. The Catholic Church knew there was fucking kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods wheresoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their person to perpetual slavery. Now, if I have to explain this for you, it's because you're not paying attention. But I'm going to go ahead and do so. So basically what they're saying, and I don't think you're dumb. I'm going to clarify for just in case you're not getting it. So this doctrine, this law basically gave them the right. Now, we weren't over here just in teepees doing nothing. There was millions of us here already. That got narrowed down to like 300,000. So from those survivors, here we stand. We are their family. We are the ones that were made through those survivors. Because I'm here, I am a child. I am a great granddaughter of survivors. And I am also a great granddaughter of cousins that didn't make it, that were plummeted, and just, that's it. They were done. Their life was done because of this doctrine. And again, if you're still Catholic, something like that, no offense to you, but literally you need to research where and why and who made your religion. Because if to be following blindly, guys, what if they're leading you down a cliff, right? And it's only going to hurt you at the end, right? So you must always take a stand for yourself and say, okay, we understand that indoctrination happened. There's no way we can ignore it, right? I'm speaking English today because of indoctrination. I have the accent that I have because of indoctrination. Not just because I'm from California, but because of indoctrination. So the Catholic Church, not only did they already send their surveyors all over the place, before they started these doctrines, they knew there was pyramids. There was whole civilizations. We were so in tune with the Amazon that we lived there in the millions. And we didn't disrupt the damn thing. The only disruptors were the invaders that came in with all their high and mighty bullshit, right? Because this is just a paper that one Catholic person, or I believe it was a group, right? But it came through this guy, Pope Nicholas V, right? And it was called the Papa Bull. And so we're talking about the doctrine of discovery, right? This is something that we're never going to be able to not talk about, because this is how they did it. This is how the reason we're all like, no offense. And a part of me doesn't want to say it, but another part of me got stabbed in the guts just for standing up for my own religions in another life. Okay? So I already know that. All right? I've investigated my own shit. I do a lot of astral traveling. When it looks like I'm just meditating, I'm actually searching and researching the Akashic records. And that is something for anyone to do, right? Because they literally, the Catholic Church and the royal arms, right? There was the Queen and King at the time of Britain or England, whatever, over there, the UK. That they also took a crown. Don't forget that the Africans were all over the place. Europe, like, so smart, so technology sound. People would go to Egypt, where the black people are from. Also, there's been a large migration, so there's a lot more white-looking people that are in Egypt. But if you look at all the paintings and everything, everybody was dark and black. Dark brown. There are some people that have actually look black. And that's beautiful. Good for them. But we cannot. You can do whatever you want. But as far as me, I'm not going to sit here while there's genocide still in the world. That needs to stop wherever it's going on, because it's not just going on in Gaza. Because if there's so much human trafficking going on, this is an active genocide against the human population. Okay, so, and this shit didn't just start this year with Trump, with Biden, with Obama. No, this shit has been going on for a while. And it's so hidden and under your nose that when it blows up in their faces, we're gonna have a fantastic show. I need you to understand that. So when the Catholic Church goes down, guess what's gonna open? The Vatican doors. The Vatican doors will open with all the knowledge and information that you stole from our ancestors. We will become the Skywalkers again. And that is just one warning. So I'm just saying, guys, because they messed up, man. They messed up. What they should have done is not created the internet. Watch there be a parallel universe where there's no internet. Watch. But you know what? That's not the point. So this doctrine gives them the right to, if they don't believe in Christ, you have the right to take their kingdoms. What does that mean? There was kingdoms here. We weren't just cave dwellers, although some of us lived like that. That's our prerogative. Dukedoms. That doesn't just mean royalty. They knew they were royalty. There was a dukedom. So all you Africans that are way more, I'm only like 4% African. And that comes probably from a time in the I try to research where would this ancestor be, from the Bantu and from the Congo. Who are they, right? Because they're all important to me. Just like the Inca, that is only a certain percentage in my blood. That's important to me, right? And I cannot discriminate against the white in my ancestry. Y'all messed up and made a little baby me. I'm already all of you. The only thing I don't have is Asian. So it's like this. Anyways, let's finish this up, guys. So, okay, remember, the Catholic Church is acknowledging that there's kingdoms and dukedoms. So, principalities mean whatever rules and regulations they have, fuck them. And so then they say dominions. Dominions meaning they have power. They have the right over that land. And now I'm giving you that right to take it. That's what this is saying. Possessions. Now, it's not enough to convert us into Christianity, Catholicism. It's not enough, huh? You needed to take our goods, whether they were on the, like, stapled to the ground or not. You needed to take our shit and put it into your Vatican hidden underground vaults. You needed to do that. Because you knew very well that we wouldn't stop sharing it with our own ancestors. We're not going to stop. See, my ancestors speak to me from the great beyond. One of them is like, I love that shit. I love it. Love it. I love it. They're my ancestors, guys. I mean, even let's say for example, this is a hot and heavy episode, guys, but we're gonna be done in half a minute. Like, it's not gonna be too long. I feel like one of those preachers, like, just because I am. Do you guys realize that I actually am ordained minister? Yes. So the reason I pray with you guys at the end is because as an ordained minister that I did, forgive my hair, guys. It's so hot and so hot. And I don't even want to have my hair down, but I look like a toe if I don't have my hair down. So even that's that little stuff, right? So let's go back to this, to the doctrine of discovery. It's easily researchable yourself on any internet site. So you have possessions. And again, all movable and immovable goods. So that means you can come to their land, and if they're not Christ centered, then you can take all their shit, you can take their kingdom, their royalties, you can name yourself royalty. Oh, whatever they are, you can take that from them and say that you're that. That's what this is saying. That's what this is saying, guys. Okay, we're almost gonna be done. This is a passionate episode. All right. So we got through the possession, goods, and everything. But the worst part here, this is where I want you to react, as you're gonna need to react. It's who said it best? Nerd, N-E-R-D. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So let's continue with this truth, because guys, if you're doing 10% here and 10% that's the reason they're so rich. I say pull the plug, let them die. They don't have no pool here. You know, their spirituality is fake. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna molest all kinds of people like that, your spirituality is fake. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, you're not praying to the right God. That's all I gotta say. If your God can't stop you from being a pedophile, what kind of a God is that? And some people might say, hey, if your God can't stop you from being gay, but my God accepts me for whoever I am. God made me exactly who I am. And in fact, I'm a little bit divorced from that word God. But I just want you to understand that I'm understanding that there's the one creator. Right? All right, so let's finish this off. Let's just finish it off. Let's just chop the head off the Catholic Church right now. So there's probably somebody out there who prays all the time for their Catholic Church, and you're giving them spiritual points. Now, you don't need a middleman. You don't need Jesus. I'm sorry to say it, but you don't need Jesus to connect with Yahweh. You do not need Jesus to connect to the creator of all that is, to the true and living creator. Right? So, let's move on. So this doctrine not only gave them the right to do what they did back then, it gives them the perpetual right to continue doing it. Listen to this. Let's finish this. So, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed, this one, by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. Whoa! They literally wanted to keep us in slavery for just, you know what perpetual means? Perpetual means never ending, forever and ever. This isn't just something that they wanted to do and like let the people come to Jesus peacefully. No, it was invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue, and take all their shit, including their royalties, including their dukedoms, including all their goods that they have been living all their lives with. What the hell? Does that make any sense, guys? All right. And you know what? If I lose people from this, it's fine. Because there's literally some people that don't know anything about this. So if me with all this knowledge, not sharing it, makes me part of the problem if I don't share the shit that I should be sharing. You understand what I'm saying? So, to me, this pisses me off. Like I'm on planet Mars. That's how much I want war with these guys. And they don't have an understanding that I'm an ordained minister. On top, and it's not just going to come because of my power. It's going to come through a united front of all of us. But not only am I an ordained minister, but I've been undercover healing a lot of people. And I do cast rituals, and I do cast things that look like prayers and spells, and I don't care who judges me. And I mostly do it against evil people, right? I too myself have to be like, you will not participate in evil, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to see it in the world. I don't want to see it in me, right? So let's finish off with now you're knowing that the Catholic Church wants to keep you a slave perpetually, forever and ever, endeavor. So to reduce, and we're almost done, guys, because I don't have that much time. So to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery and to apply and appropriate to himself. That means apply and appropriate. Grab this and appropriate it to yourself. To himself and his successors. So whoever's with them and their children, and whoever succeeds them doesn't necessarily have your successor doesn't have to be your child. So it says, any successors, the kingdoms, dukedoms, countries, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods. Okay? So what they're saying is like, you have the right to go take every single little piece about their land, every single little piece about their goods. You take everything, and in fact, if you don't invade them, then you need to capture them, and if you can't capture them, you need to vanquish them. Okay, that's not the kind of God-fearing people that I know of today's Christians, right? This is very far removed, but it doesn't mean that it's not affecting our society. This is the last sentence in the Doctrine of Discovery, and then we're done. So this Pope Nicholas V said, and to convert them to his and their use and profit. So what does that mean? You know exactly what it means. To convert the people that they're conquesting into their use, to use however you want, and for their profit. And this is why slavery was such a giant like get rich scheme. You know, people that got rich from slavery times, from human trafficking times, from criminal times, even more criminal times than there are now. Those people got to keep all their money. They ask where reparations are coming from. It's coming from Johnson and Johnson. It's coming from Merrill Lynch. It's gonna come from Bank of America. Any how do you say any business or institution like Yale and Harvard, any business or institution that gained money through slavery owes reparations. That's how it is. That's how it is, guys. That's how it is. They gave reparations to the Jewish people. They gave reparations to To who else? To the slave owners that lost their slaves because we won the Civil War and there was no more slaves to be. So all these white slave owners, they didn't have their little profit machine anymore, right? So now you got to pay them half a penny, right? Half a penny for the whole day. Genius move, right? Put us on a minimum wage. This is how low as I'll go. This is as much as I'll give you and as low. This is what they're saying with minimum wage. We deserve more than minimum wage, guys. Go out and create your own business. Now that you see they want you to be a slave and just use you for profit, get out of the religion game. I'm not saying become an atheist, but find God in your own way. Find sources your own way. If you are an atheist, kudos to you, because you're not even, you're like, I tap out. I'm not even part of that game. But if you're an atheist, I ask you, I implore you to believe in yourself. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're going after, yeah, shit takes time. Shit takes time. If we were able to manifest things like this in one quick second, all kinds of terrible stuff would happen, right? Because I know that sometimes I get like terrible thoughts, and I have to and this is good advice for anybody suffering from like schizophrenia or bipolar or stuff like that. If there comes a thought that's negative in your brain, immediately replace it with a positive thought, right? So if I, for example, see myself crashing on the freeway or whatever, and I'm just getting myself all worked up and excited, I then turn around and I picture myself me and myself in my car driving with millions and tons of money, and I'm going to go drop some off to my family, right? If I'm going to use my thoughts for something, it better be for something useful, right? So I've changed the game on negative thoughts. They no longer affect me the way that they used to, because I know I'm in control. And so are you guys. Remember that no matter what anybody says, guys, the last time I remember I was saying, this is part of a correction too, and I'm almost done. When females, and this is addressed to the males, when females don't want to have children with you, it's not because it's definitely the female's choice, right? No matter, I've seen couples that have been in love and the woman still chooses not to bear child until like 15 years into their relationship. I've seen this stuff. I've seen women not literally, but I've heard about women throwing themselves down the stairs because they were afraid to go get an abortion, and that would have been easier. So don't take offense if no one's procreated with you yet. It's just about right timing. It's about right timing, the right person. Do you really want to have your genes mixed up with every single body? No, right? That's why it doesn't work out with everybody, and that's why we don't have children with everybody, right? If I had children from everybody I had a one-night stand with, I wouldn't be happy. Maybe I'd be happy because I have a bunch of children, but in the reality, no, you know what I mean? I've done what I needed to do. I got on Plan B when I was a very young woman. And one correction that I need to make is that, it's not about you. It's about us when we don't want to have children yet and everything like that. So never take it personally. There is a woman out there or a man that's desiring, that one day will look at you with all the desire in their heart and they will want to procreate with you. Okay? And so don't worry about the people that didn't want to procreate, because let me tell you, it's simple. And if our government, which already has banned abortion in several states, California is a free state, y'all. You can come over here and still get abortions. However, I am free will. I'm totally pro-choice, but I also know how harmful abortions are. Not because I had one. But I think I definitely used enough birth control to understand how the female system fertilizes itself. So not just am I a woman, but definitely had to do my own research, right? So let's say if you're in a state, holler, whatever your state you're at, let me know where you're from, because we need to connect, guys. It's not just all people in one neck of the woods. Like, the internet gives us access to the whole world. Right? So, so one of the things that will literally make you miscarriage is drinking over 200 milligrams of coffee. Did you know that? So, like, let's say you get a large venti from Starbucks, which probably has more than 200 grams of caffeine. Expect a good birth control method. If you are already kind of pregnant, don't do that, because you could cause yourself a miscarriage, right? In the older times when I hate to bring up slavery, human trafficking, prisoners of war, innocent victims, having to bring them up, not that I like it, but they share an example that I don't feel like it should die in vain, because they went through their shit for a reason. So a lot of times when the human the human trafficking victim was being assaulted and raped by their owners to have more slaves for their flock, a lot of these women would take natural anti-pregnancy herbs. I'm not the glossary on all the things that give you a miscarriage. I don't know everything, but I do know that if you drink a lot of oregano oil, you give yourself a miscarriage. So if you're trying to get pregnant, kind of ease it up on. You can have a little bit of oregano oil, but it has to be like a little bit. And if you take too much, you can get a miscarriage. So I mean. We've been doing it. We've been having women have been having birth control probably since the first couple of women. I don't believe it was just Adam and Eve. There's no way. It had to be a few couples. Like, it had to be like 15 women over here and 15 men over there. And, it had to be something like that. I don't believe we all came from one man and one woman. You already know, a lot of you know I'm not Christian. I do not follow the Bible. Although sometimes I use the Bible because it has wisdom in it. Not all of it, right? Not the part that told them that slavery was okay. None of that. See, the Bible told white people that slavery was okay because the black people were the son of whoever and they should be like your slaves. And that's not right. That's not right. So we don't follow stuff that entices criminal activity. We don't want that, right? So, okay, guys. Remember, guys. Oh, and even Jamaica. Who knows Jamaica? The hibiscus? That'll give you a miscarriage too. So if you're trying to get pregnant, don't drink hibiscus. There's a lot of stuff, right? Just do it. Whatever you're doing, do it safe. And the best way not to get pregnant is to abstain from sex, right? That's the only. You're a young person out there thinking about all the ways of birth control and whatever. Abstaining is something beautiful and something sacred. We don't. And you know, as a person that's relatively older, I think I've shared my age before. I am in my 40s and my early 40s, and I just got here. And I had to use a lot of preventative medicine in order not to have children that I didn't want. Yes, I still it's crazy because some people make fun of me and they say you should have had children when you had the chance. You should have not have took those plan Bs. I'm sorry, but that wasn't my plan. That was not my plan, and I'm not going to let you make me feel bad about my life decisions. I already have enough guilt and all this bullshit. Sometimes I'm too salty, and I'm bitter about myself, and I have to remember that I'm not going to understand everything and why everything happened in my past. I'm just going to have to cater and be like a coping partner for myself. No partner, no husband, no wife, no brother, no sister, no mother, the father. They're not going to fix me. I need to fix myself, right? And in becoming more emotionally intelligent, I save myself, right? So I encourage you guys to do that, guys. And so now off that topic, something very scientific, you guys. I like to teach you guys stuff. I'm not a teacher, but I like to teach. So who likes drumming? Who likes it? Okay, so looking like a wild woman. Okay, so scientifically speaking, science confirms, and this is a quote I'm reading from some scientific journal. I forgot what. I didn't post it. I didn't write it down. Science confirms that mindfulness meditation helps to alleviate chronic pain, reduce stress, and improve vitality. So that's one thing about meditation. It'll help you alleviate chronic pain, reduce stress, and improve vitality. So why did I drum and why did I talk about meditation? Because they're almost like the same thing. When you play drums, you're achieving a meditation state in your consciousness. So incorporating mindfulness into your drumming routine can be as simple as being aware of your thoughts and allowing them to pass by without judgment, right? So it's your you allow whatever rises up to rise up with no judgment. Watch it like you watch a movie, but play no part. They can't hear you, right? So stay silent and do you. I like the Ricky Ricardo beat. Who remembers Babalu? Yeah, I love that shit. Babalu. I love that shit. I don't know what he's saying. I think Babalu is like a god or something like that. Humans, I don't know, guys. They erased everything. They try to make us believe that their way is the only way. And we know very well that it's not. So, but that's not all. Research shows that drumming can also increase alpha and theta brainwave production, as well as brainwave synchronicity, all of which can lead to a heightened creativity, improved problem-solving abilities, and it enhances immune system and much more. So what I got here was just the tippity top of the research information on what scientists have discovered about meditation, and then slash, what do you call those? Forward slash. And then you have drumming. So whatever you're doing in life, do you, right? Some people sing to relax, some people write to relax, some people go play sports. If you don't own a drum, I would say go get one, because it's actually very fun, and like science has proved it. It syncs our brain. It helps us become more heightenedly creative. It helps us to solve problems, right? So go solve your problems, guys, and you're the only one that you should be worried about. In fact, don't worry about yourself. Just figure it out, right? And if you need to drum and sing and dance and sweat it out for you to be able to have good use of your brain, do so, okay? So that's all I got for you today, guys. That's all I got for you today. That is all I got for you today. So I have my little notes. So, okay, guys, do you want to end with a prayer, a quick one? So, Mother and Father Creator, we are so grateful that you let us get together today. Thank you for unity. Thank you for distance. Thank you for the visualization that appears to be separation, because in knowing that we're not separate, we will find our unity again. So thank you so much, higher one, highest one, that is our living, is our breathing, is our cells. Thank you for the magnanimous miracles that you perform in our life, that you are going to perform in our life, because we are open, susceptible to the creator of the galaxies that can implement anything at any time. And all we ask is that you take an interest in us so that we can go by our days in a more fulfilled, more magical, more sensitive purpose. Thank you, lover of life. Thank you, captain of our souls. Thank you for our life, for our family, for our friends, for our pets, and every single little thing that is in our lives. Thank you for the protection of those things. Thank you for the people that make things, that provide things for us. And we richly bless everyone that has ever helped us in any way and will continue to help us. Help us see value. How can we bring value in the people that are coming into our lives and the people that are into our lives? And so that question lies in you, Creator, because you can move all the mountains, and certainly you can move us. So we're so grateful and thankful, and we just say thank you so much. Let your spirit, Most High, grow stronger and stronger. Forever and ever may you be praised. And so it is. Ashe. Sometimes I'll say amen, sometimes I'll say ashe, but I hope that either way you respect the way I pray. I'm not just here being a silly Billy, although I am silly Billy. Just work on yourself, guys, because again, I'm going to say this until the day I die. Working on yourself has dividends. It pays off. All right, guys, have a beautiful evening wherever you're at. Whenever you catch this, I'm glad you did. Show some love, okay? Let me know that you're here, because I know people watch, but people were quiet. So honestly, when you guys comment, it doesn't like I don't feel like there's smoke coming up my butt. I feel like you're hearing me and you're interacting, and that's wonderful. And really, in the end, everybody just wants to be seen, right? And for those people that are thinking that the only way you have value is for others to see you, take a look in the mirror. You're the only person that should matter to you. That's it, right? In Spanish, there's this famous saying called, you say primero yo, después yo, y luego yo. And I've said this before. So basically it means first me, then me, and lastly me. Good thing you're not here because I was like spitting. So that doesn't mean be so selfish that you forget about the world. It means help yourself, help yourself, help yourself, and then you can help the others. So that's it, guys. From one person that always needs, I always need encouragement too. Do you think I'm on here just to like encourage your day? No, I need to hear sometimes encouraging words too, right? We forget we're all human, you know, just because I might be a certain age and I might look like I got shit together. I'm saying words of advice that I need to hear as well. So everybody just hang in there. Try to be copacetic. I'm proud of the rioters and the protesters. However, be safe, be careful. They're doing shit on purpose to make sure that you end up in jail. So the way I protest is fiscally. Don't put your money into places that are starting war. Don't put your money into places that are doing shitty things, right? I no longer shop at Walmart. They stop carrying women's product, black people product. They stop carrying LGBT material. Then you don't care about anything in my life, and I'm not going to support you. You don't support me, I don't support you. Okay, so that's it. Walmart's done. Amazon's done. I don't order for shit like that anymore. And yeah, I think we're all kind of addicted to the Amazon buyers, but we have to remember that there's a lot of businesses out here. Go visit your mom and pop shops. They're not necessarily just have a business. Like people like me, I sell sea moss. I sell it online. I sell the sea moss gel. I sell sea moss tinctures. I sell face oils that are very powerful and beautiful if you're trying to, cater to your skin. I also do Reiki. I do Reiki. I'm a 2nd degree Reiki practitioner. What that means, I can lay of hands from anywhere I am. I can do it in person. I can do distance healing. And distance healing is just as effective as being in person. Let me tell you that. I'm also a licensed real estate agent. So if you need help for anything, if you're a first time buyer, if you're doing things to search for a new home and you need help, you can give me a call. I'm able to help you. I'm able to sell your house. So hit me up for all the things that I can do, right? Are you looking to come live in California? Hit me up. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. Tell me about the things that you want to do. So you can really hit me up for anything. Do you need a prayer partner? You can hit me up for that too. One of the things I say, if it's not paying me and it's not praying with me, I don't want nothing to do with it. The truth is, guys, I'm not all about money. It's just that, honestly, I find priority in things like when I would just go hang out with friends and watch them get drunk. That was like not cool for me. I was even around friends. I'm no longer friends with them. But, I was even around friends that would make fun of my spirituality. And I'm like, what the heck? I literally work hard for that. Like, what? How are you making fun of my spirituality? What the? Okay. And then you think to yourself, what a judging bitch. And then you don't want to be friends with them. So, because if anybody judges you on the lack of spirituality, on how much spirituality they have, what are they even doing with their lives? Like, fix your life. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me when people pick on other people for differences. Because honestly, you're going to alienate yourself. At least I'm not going to be your friend. And I'm not desperate for friends. The people that are meant to come in my life, they do. They don't miss me. And the people that are not meant to be in my life, I'm telling you right now, I do not miss them. And I'm 100% sure they don't miss me. So, because I try to cut all the ties and links or whatever, guys. So that is enough from me. I love you. Take care. You're wise. You're full of wisdom. If you're looking for somebody to look you straight in your eyes and tell that you're important, you're worthy, you're awesome, everything that you're talented at, gifted at, try to pursue it. Not all of us are singers and actresses and stuff like that. That's not the only thing to be great on the world. There's doctors, there's nurses, there's a whole load of military people that are just willing to serve just to protect people. That is beautiful. Okay, guys? So, whatever you do, you, right? But again, remember that in this colonized society, it's very important that you stand up for yourself, for your beliefs, and where you came from. Even if we're still searching, even if we just have a tiny nightlight in search of who we are, we will be found again because our ancestors speak to us. And there's no way that you're going to ever mute them. So, from one ancestor to you and your ancestors, be well, be blessed. Try to take in the happiness and everything, guys, because in the end, you're only going to have your memories, right? All right, guys, go make some good memories. Love you. Bye. How you doing?